All right, welcome to Partners Matter Tech Tuesdays, our SalesBoost webinar. As I discussed before starting this, it is recorded for our YouTube, and if you don't feel comfortable being on recording, feel free to leave now. We've been asked a lot about marketing resources and how do I drive sales, and hopefully this is one step in helping you drive sales for the upcoming year. So it's kind of a rhetorical question, but a quick question because I've spoken with a number of you, as well as a lot of our restaurants. How many of you think about this have stable, which is flat or minimal growth sales over the last 12 months? What we are seeing is that's fairly been consistent with a number of our restaurateurs. So think about that. Have you had flat or minimal growth sales over the last 12 months? If you have, when you combine minimal growth with the raise in prices on your menu, you had less guests come in this year than last year. So if your sales were $2 million last year and $2 million this year, and your menu price went up, you had less guests. And that's a problem we want to face before you're looking at this a year from now and realizing business is real bad. We want to grow that guest count. I thought this would be kind of interesting to put in annual marketing spends for restaurant chains in the U.S. Domino's $774 million, McDonald's $638 million, Wendy's $538 million, Chipotle $264 million. As I saw those numbers, I thought to myself, what's consistent with all of them? I already know what I'm ordering before I go to those places. They don't need to market other than to stay relevant in people's minds. When you pull into the McDonald's drive-thru, you got a pretty good idea what you're getting. When I don't order Domino's, but if I were to order Domino's, I would know what I'm getting. So they're marketing just to stay relevant in their guests' minds. I also looked up kind of what you should spend on marketing for a year, and successful growing restaurants typically spend 3 to 6% of their annual sales on marketing. I know that the independent guys are not spending anywhere close to that. I know I didn't spend anywhere close to that in my own restaurants. So I just put this stat up there so that you would see industry average. This comes right from National Restaurant Association. So as we get into marketing, I want to talk about what is marketing, because that's going to define a lot of the things that we talk about in this webinar. It's a noun defined as the activity or business of promoting and selling products or services, including market research and advertising. The purpose of marketing is to get people interested in the products you are selling and stay relevant in their minds. We just talked about McDonald's spends hundreds of millions of dollars on marketing just to stay relevant in people's minds. What activities are marketing? So I wanted to make sure that we're all on the same page. And when we talk about marketing, it's more inclusive. It's advertising, print, radio, TV, all the expensive forms of marketing. It's apparel, so uniforms, hats, shirts, etc. It's community outreach if you're part of a leads group or you are in various community programs. It's charitable donations, social media, email, review sites like Yelp and Google. Some of the most important marketing right now, especially negative reviews. Search engine optimization, your website, and 3D tours. We spoke a little bit about 3D tours last month on the webinar. If you aren't familiar with what a 3D tour is, we can talk about this at the end. But they're getting an average of 12,000 views on your website for every 3D tour each month. It's how you greet your guests. It's your steps of service. It's your third-party online ordering. So sometimes everybody doesn't think of these things as marketing, but how you are presented on DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats, are your hours of operation accurate? Are your food photos accurately reflecting what the guest is expecting when they get your food? All of that is a marketing activity. So how do we solve for marketing on a limited budget? I understand most of us aren't going to spend 6% of our sales on marketing. So how do we solve for marketing on less than that number? Step one, you define your mission. Nothing is successful unless you know what success means. What is your mission? And that's going to be different for every place. I mean, I see Chef Johnny on the call. He has a high-end restaurant in Royal Oak, Michigan. His mission is going to be different than Carrie, who is also on the call, who has a brewery in West Michigan, who is slightly seasonal and brews their own beer. All right, so we got to define our mission. What are we trying to accomplish with marketing? Step two, we have to review all online and in-store resources for accuracy and ensure your brand's mission is being represented in congruence with your mission. Every single time I sit down with somebody to consult with them on their marketing, there are inaccuracies in their online presence. Those inaccuracies lead to a lack of congruence across platform and can be confusing to your guest. Step three is making sure your staff knows your mission. It's not good enough to define your mission if your staff doesn't know your mission and isn't part of the mission. Make sure they're greeting guests the minute they walk in the door, following your steps of service, exceeding guest expectations, and being a steward for your establishment. The staff has to be on board. Step four, reward program plus email marketing campaign. The cheapest and most cost-effective marketing you can do. And we're going to get into that now. The goal of a successful rewards program is only to maximize guest participation so you can build your email marketing database. Everybody thinks that rewards programs are there to reward your loyal guests. No, that's a byproduct of it. Your goal is to get guests to sign up so that they voluntarily give you their email marketing information, their demographic information. Oops, I went backwards. So knowing that that's our goal, incentivize participation, because the money you spend on loyalty incentives is significantly cheaper than the money needed to attract new guests. When we talked about all those other marketing resources, to get a guest to come into your establishment one extra time a month, you can do it by giving them a free dessert by signing up for loyalty, and now you have their marketing information and you can get them in one extra time a month. Or you can spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on external marketing to drive a customer into your establishment. That free dessert is going to be a whole lot cheaper. Successful rewards programs keep it simple. I threw an example up here. Spend $100, earn $10 on your next visit. That has to be adjusted for your price point. If you're a breakfast place where your average ticket's $12, you probably want something like spend $50 and get $5 on your next visit. That earn dollar amount on your next visit should not cover their entire check. You want them to also have to spend money on that next visit. Okay? You also keep it simple by allowing them to sign up in two ways. In store via scanning a QR code and signing up, or by visiting your website. Real simple. Everybody's doing both these days. Everybody has mobile friendly. Everybody's got a cell phone in their hands. Real simple, easy ways to sign up. Let's talk about Partners Matter SalesBoost. It's driving sales with email marketing and consulting. We have a step-by-step program that we are launching today that we have been test marketing with a couple of our merchants. And this is the next step of what we're going to talk about. How does it work? Step one, we meet with you to define your mission. We have an hour to 2 hour long meeting with you as an individual to define what your goals are, to go over your social media presence and what you're doing there, to go over Yelp and your review sites to see what those look like, your website. So to define your mission and help make everything talk together. Step two, we develop a plan of attack together. We're not dictating what you have to do. We're making suggestions because no email marketing campaign is going to be successful if your brand story is not being told the same way on social media. So if we're marketing email for you and you're telling a different story on Facebook or Instagram, you're going to create problems. All right. So we develop a plan of attack together. It does involve you as a merchant helping with your social media. Step 3, the third week of each month, we have a strategy meeting. We review your current progress and success. So how has it been working? What is your redemption rate? How many guests have signed up? How many people have redeemed rewards? All right. And we discuss next month's campaigns and goals. So what are you doing next month in your establishment that we want to market?
Michael Asterisk, an essential guide crafted to empower and inspire the bartenders of culinary investment.
I just muted somebody who was didn't have their mic muted. Sorry, guys. So we're discussing what's going on in your restaurant next month. What do we need to market via email? What programs do we want to push out? What stories do we want to tell? Maybe you're supporting a local charity next month, and we want that to be a focal point of your email marketing. So we're going to have those conversations during the third week of each month strategy meeting so that we can define that in your email marketing for the next month. Step 4 is we execute the plan. We handle all of the email marketing A to Z, all the graphic design, all the look, all the feel, all of that for you. We have introductory pricing starting today, $199 a month. What do I mean by introductory pricing? Because the first question I got when I talked to my own staff about this was, does that mean your pricing is going to go up? No, that means the first group of people that sign up, and I don't know whether this is going to be the next 30 days or 60 days or 7 days, depending on participation, we're going to do for $199 a month forever. All right. This price will likely go up as we just have more people signed up and want to spend their time with people that are that we're able to help. This was designed as an overview, guys. A quick overview. I designed these things to be 15 minutes. I want them to be interactive. I want you to ask questions. This is the program we're rolling out. So please raise hands if you have questions. Let me get to questions. Let's talk about them in more depth, anything that you may have. I know we talked about what is a 3D tour. Let me get to that real quick while we're waiting for people, because I got 2 different text messages while we're on this. So this is one of our clients. It's a website that we designed, that we developed with them, Sheps in Texas. This is a 3D tour. It's a virtual walkthrough of your space. It's part of our overall marketing. So your guests can go through, walk through your space, especially important if you have banquet facilities and that sorts of thing. But we can embed these little dots where they can see and click and get your menu. But more importantly, they can walk through your restaurant in a virtual world. And I'm clicking through it very quickly. And we can embed secret specials throughout the restaurant, 1 per month, 1 per quarter, where your guests can go on and we can market to them to go to your website, click through, view what's going on in your restaurant, and find the secret special. Maybe it's a coupon code for online ordering 1 month. Maybe it's, any number of other things. One of the more common questions we get when it comes to the 3D tours is, we don't have a very large place, Dwayne. Is it super valuable if we don't have a very large place? Well, we have a pretty small deli, 3G's Gourmet Deli in Florida. Oops, not what I meant to do. very small place. They have their same 3D tour. You can see it's your traditional table service with a deli counter. They get 12,500 hits a month on average. People clicking through this 3D tour. So when you say, hey, is it valuable? Yeah, it definitely helps with your search engine optimization. It definitely helps with getting people to your website. And the more you stay relevant in your guest's mind, the better your marketing campaign is. Questions? I have the chat open. You can raise your hand, ask questions. Steve's on the call, so if it's sales questions, he's here as well. Again, this was intended to be an overview, guys, and we are hopeful that people would have some interest and some questions.
Dwayne, this is Peter Gray. How are you?
Hey, Peter.
Couple questions. Is the these 3D virtual tours, is this a separate fee, or is this rolled into your monthly fees?
There's a separate monthly fee for this, and with you guys being enterprise, we can work out all the details. Peter, I would love to get this in all of your sites, and we'll make it super affordable for you.
Okay. And then my other question on just the the email marketing campaigns, rewards campaign. Obviously, we have an internal marketing director, and we use an external firm. So we have a number of resources, but what would be, and I don't know if this is geared more towards the groups that don't have those resources, or for us, how would engaging with you on a monthly basis be like beneficial? Like, do you have access to different types of like campaigns to run or data? Like, I guess just kind of like for me, what would the value be?
Yeah, I think the value is another set of eyes with restaurant experience on you, because sometimes a lot of the outside marketing firms that people use tend to not know our industry as well as we would like them to. I was on a call with one of our merchants yesterday, a place called, what is the name of his place? I'm looking it up on my calendar right now, because Totally Baked Pizza. They're in Ohio. And he was telling me stories of they'd used 2 or 3 different firms. And when they're looking, they want to show open rates and all that, all the traditional email marketing stuff that you would show. And I'm like, well, that's great if somebody opens your email, but how do you know that's leading to sales? By tying email marketing in with your rewards program, we can tie email open rates and success rates to how many times those guests came back into your building as a result. So we can put an ROI behind it that's deeper than just open rates. Now, again, for a chain like you guys are, Peter, we can work out different programs to work with Laura and your team and all that to ensure that it's more of a cooperative program, and just get another set of eyes to help.
Okay. And is your pricing, obviously, because we have multiple locations, I'm assuming that $199 isn't for the entire group. Is it per like address, or?
It is per address, but again, with the number of locations you have, let's talk.
Okay.
Omar asked if we can use the 3D video with the current website. Yes, we can give you an embed code to use with the current website. So we don't have to be managing your website in order for you to do the 3D video with us.
Hey, Dwayne. Dan from Minnesota Key. How you doing?
Hey, Dan.
Okay. So quick question. So we have built a marketing division over the last year down here. We believe it's been successful, but I guess from your standpoint, what are some like key performance indicators you look at when evaluating if email campaigns are successful or not? And also too, to follow up on that, what would you say is like a healthy number of monthly email subscribers added? And I guess it depends on the size of the business, but
It depends on the size of the business on that one.
yeah.
You guys are significantly, so guys, Dan's got 3 restaurants in Florida that, you know, collectively do, you know, 2.5, 3 million a month in revenue. They're very, very large establishments in Manasota Key, or actually Englewood, Florida, who currently shut down, affected by the hurricanes, and reopening in a month or so. To answer that question, your first question, redemption rate. So I hate the use of open rate in any marketing campaign, because, you know, when I was last in the restaurant industry, we would get the people that would come in with like the Val packs and the coupon books and all that. And they would say, hey, Dwayne, you know, we have all these customers in your area that are doing these, and look how successful they are. And I say, well, how successful are they? You're asking me to spend $3,500 a month to send out this Val pack. How do I know that it's going to be successful? And I would always say to them, hey, why don't we work it out a little different? Instead of me paying you $3,500 a month for the Val pack, why don't I give you $25 every time somebody redeems one of your Val pack coupons? Because that's the real definition of success in any marketing campaign, is how many people did it turn into purchasers?
Right.
And they were never, oddly enough, never willing to go on that plan. So I think redemptions are a really big indicator. ROI. And I know ROI is kind of an overused term, but if you're giving somebody $50 to come into your restaurant and they spend $40, and that's the only time they've ever been there, probably not a good idea. I always say this with the charities that would come into my restaurant and ask me for a gift card for their raffle. I'm like, I'm going to give you a $100 gift card. You're going to raffle it for $80. That person that buys the gift card from you and makes that charitable donation is going to come in and not spend much more than the $100. I'd be better off writing you a donation check for $80.
Right.
All right. Which is why we're going to be doing a webinar on this, I believe, next month, how to use your rewards program to reward charities in your organization or in your area. All right. Because there's a charitable component through rewards that I think nobody uses properly. So we're going to probably be doing that for our February webinar. So you need to look at ROI, and based on your price point, your ROI is going to be different than Peter's.
Sure.
Peter's average plate or average spend is probably $150 when somebody comes in his restaurant. Yours is probably $50. So you need to find ways to drive people and get redemptions that cost you less than $50 per visit. All right. So those are the numbers that I would look at as it relates to growing your email. Obviously, in the beginning, it's easier because nobody signed up. All right. So if you are just now starting a rewards program, getting your staff behind it and getting them to encourage people to sign up becomes easy. But when your email database has 25,000 people in it, now you're just marginally increasing. Once you get to that point, if you can increase that database by 3% a month, I think you're doing real good.
Yeah. No, I was really happy. We started with 0, and in 11 months, we ended up getting over 25,000 emails.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I'm very happy with that. And, we feel as though it's a healthy database, and we're starting to look at some data and understand, what's working, what's not. But I guess one other question, Dwayne, I don't want to take up too much of everybody's time, but, if we were to work with you on this, would we be tapping into any of your technology? And what I mean, for example, we use an email marketing system called OmniSend, which has actually been pretty good for us. Would we be moving our database on over to a platform that you use, or would you just yeah?
We can do either. I think it always works better when your rewards program and your email marketing database are linked. And you can only do that if you're using Spot On's email marketing software, as well as Spot On's rewards program, in my world. But then we can put together a different program for you, because I know you've already built your email marketing, structure up that is more of a consulting in nature.
Okay, cool. I appreciate it, Dwayne. Thank you very much.
No problem. Other questions? Some good ones so far, guys. Like I said, next month we are going to be discussing how to use your rewards program to drive charitable sales, to help your bottom line by encouraging charities to get involved with your location. I had a really good conversation with a merchant about this yesterday, and it's something that we haven't talked about on a webinar yet, so excited about it. If you're interested in discussing this more, maybe you still have some questions, don't feel comfortable asking them on the call, reach out to Steve or myself. Set up a call individually with us, and let's talk about how we can benefit your restaurant group or your restaurant. We really, the more you guys do in sales, the more money we make. So it's in our best interest to work together and to drive sales to your business. And if there are no more questions, that will conclude for today. Any final thoughts, questions? All right, everybody. Thank you for attending, and we will see you next month.